The courtroom was silent. The air felt heavier than stone. A man in chains stood before the judge, calm, pale, and only hours away from execution. Asterisk reporters filled the benches. Guards stood rigid. The victim's family stared at him with burning eyes. The judge adjusted his glasses and asked the final question. "Do you have any last wish?" Asterisk, the prisoner looked up, not afraid, not angry. And what he said next froze the entire courtroom. No one, not even the judge, was prepared for it. If you were about to face death and you were allowed one final wish, what would you ask for? Asterisk revenge. Asterisk forgiveness. Asterisk a final goodbye. Asterisk or something that could change everything. Stay until the end, because this isn't just a story about a man on death row. It's a story about mercy, truth, and a decision that shocked an entire nation. Asterisk, asterisk, the year was 1998. Asterisk, the case had dominated headlines for months. Asterisk, Daniel Hayes, a 34-year-old mechanic, had been convicted of a brutal armed robbery that ended in murder. Asterisk, the evidence had seemed clear. A witness testimony, a weapon found in his car, his fingerprints at the scene. The jury deliberated for only 6 hours. Guilty, the victim was a respected businessman, Thomas Whitmore, a father of 2, a man known for his generosity. The public wanted justice, and justice, they believed, meant death. Daniel never cried during the trial, never begged, never protested loudly. He only said one sentence before sentencing. Asterisk, I didn't do it. No one believed him. Asterisk, the execution was scheduled for 6 p.m. Asterisk, by 9 a.m. Daniel had met with a priest. Asterisk, at 11 a.m. He declined his final meal. At 1 p.m., he wrote a letter. At 4:45 p.m., he was brought into a small courtroom chamber where Judge Eleanor Whitman would formally confirm the execution order. Asterisk, Judge Whitman was known for her strict adherence to the law. She had sentenced over 100 criminals. She believed deeply in justice, but something about Daniel unsettled her. He didn't look like a monster. Asterisk, he looked tired. Asterisk, Mr. Hayes, she said calmly, you may state your final wish. The room leaned forward. Daniel swallowed. Asterisk, I want to speak to the victim's daughter. Gasps filled the chamber. The Whitmore family stiffened. Asterisk, the daughter, Emily Whitmore, only 19 at the time of the murder, now 23, was present. Asterisk. Her eyes filled with fury. Judge Whitman hesitated. On what grounds? She asked. Daniel's voice trembled for the first time. Because she deserves the truth. Asterisk, after intense debate and against protocol. Judge Whitman allowed a supervised 5-minute conversation in a private chamber. Asterisk, the courtroom buzzed. In disbelief, inside the room, Emily refused to sit. You took my father, she said coldly. Daniel shook his head. I didn't, and I can prove it. Asterisk, Emily laughed bitterly. You've had years to prove it. Daniel nodded slowly. I was scared. I had a record. I panicked. I found something in prison. He pulled a folded letter from his pocket, handed to him earlier by his attorney. It's from Marcus Doyle. Emily froze. Marcus Doyle had testified against Daniel, claiming he saw Daniel fleeing the scene. Asterisk, Daniel continued. Asterisk, he confessed. 2 months ago, he's dying from cancer. He said he was paid to lie. The real killer was his cousin. The gun planted in my car. It was his. Emily's breathing grew heavy. Why now? She whispered. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. Because I wrote to him every year. I forgave him in every letter, and it broke him. Emily stepped back. This wasn't rage. This was doubt. She grabbed the letter. Her hands trembled as she read. and for the first time in 5 years. She questioned everything. Emily stormed back into the courtroom. "Asterisk, Your Honor," she said, her voice shaking. "You need to read this." The courtroom fell silent again. Judge Whitman read the confession carefully. Every word. Every signature. She looked at Daniel. "Why didn't your attorney present this earlier?" Daniel shook his head. "It arrived this morning." The prosecution objected immediately. "It's too late. The execution is scheduled." But Judge Whitman did something no one expected. She removed her glasses, closed the folder, and said, "3 words. Asterisk, stay the execution." The room exploded in chaos. Reporters rushed out. The Whitmore family wept. The guards froze. Asterisk, Judge Whitman raised her voice. Asterisk, this court will not execute a man while reasonable doubt exists. Asterisk, for the first time in her career. She delayed a death sentence hours before it was to be carried out. Within weeks. Investigators reopened the case. Marcus Doyle's confession checked out. Financial records revealed large, unexplained deposits. Into his account, asterisk surveillance footage ignored years earlier showed another vehicle near the crime scene. Asterisk DNA tests were re-examined, and the unthinkable happened. Daniel Hayes was declared innocent. 5 years on death row, 5 birthdays missed, asterisk 5 years of letters, written in hope. Gone, asterisk on the day Daniel was officially released. Reporters surrounded him. Asterisk, what kept you going? Someone shouted. Daniel smiled softly. Forgiveness. He turned to Emily, who stood beside him. I wanted my last wish to be the truth, not revenge. Emily stepped forward. I lost my father. But today I refuse to lose my humanity. 2. Judge Whitman watched from a distance. Later that evening, she said in an interview, asterisk justice without mercy is incomplete, and mercy without truth is dangerous. That day, I chose both. Sometimes the system fails. Sometimes truth arrives at the very last second. But sometimes, one final wish is enough to change everything. So let me ask you again, if you were standing there minutes away from death, asterisk, would you ask for revenge? Asterisk, or would you choose forgiveness? Asterisk, because sometimes forgiveness is the most powerful truth of all.